comes the food. That's what you're all waiting for, huh?
This is honestly my favorite part of my week.
안녕하세요. Today I have a very special presentation. My thing is Korean history and culture and literature and language. This is about language. Have you ever heard of a language school in a restaurant? We have one. There's a Korean restaurant that has Korean language school taught in the school. So let's go see it. Okay, here we are going to one of the nicest Korean restaurants in the world and doing something really unique and interesting. Let's go inside and see what's happening. Okay, here's Yummy's barbecue. We're gonna go inside. Look what's here. Learn Korean at Yummy's. That's what we're gonna do. It's a nice restaurant. And what's over here? What's here? 안녕하세요. 제가 오늘 녹음해도 될까요?
네.
일단 저 말씀하세요.
네.
제가 녹음할게요.
계속 할게요.
네.
Make a sentence again.
In Korean or English?
Korean. Let's try Korean. Yeah, this is 한국말 class.
수시를
젓가락과 okay. We use with 와 right? 으로 or 로. Okay? So say it again.
저는 수시를 젓가락으로 먹어요.
나는 수시를 젓가락으로 먹어요.
Are you the owner of this restaurant?
I am, yes.
Where did you get this idea of having Korean class in a restaurant?
Yeah, so every week I noticed at least one or two people would come in and they would have a Korean textbook and they're trying to learn Korean, and so they would ask me or ask one of our servers how to pronounce something or how to say this or how to write this, and so that's kind of how I got the idea. I said,
And you thought, well, let's have
I
a
said,
class.
let's try and do a class and see what people think.
Tell me why you're in this class. You like BTS.
I love BTS.
Do you watch Korean dramas too?
Yeah, BTS kind of led me to dramas and the food, and I wanted to understand them better.
So you're learning Korean. Mm-hmm. You really are.
I'm trying.
Why are you interested in Korean culture?
I've just always been interested in Asian culture in general, mostly Japanese and Chinese, but last year I fell in love with Korean culture as well, the music and the dramas and the food, obviously. So,
Music, dramas, and food. Korean culture. Ola, what interests you about Korean language and culture?
Well, I want to travel there someday, and I want to be able to make myself understood. And I've been watching movies from Asia, India for the last 10 years, and now I'm zoning in on Korean movies.
What interests you about Korean language, and why are you here?
I'm like Lauren. I got introduced to BTS just by accident and fell in love with all of it, and then through them became very aware of the other culture and the food and the K-dramas and everything else, and just fell in love with all of it. So now I'm here to be able to understand what they're saying better than just the translations that we're getting. So.
What's your favorite K-drama?
Oh, so far, Goblin is still my favorite. Goblin's still my favorite of all the ones I've seen. Most of them I really, really like, but I've only seen a few because my busy schedule. But
My favorite is Crash Landing.
Crash Landing is also very good. Right there at the top there, also very good.
Kaylee, you look to me like you're part Korean, but you're not.
I'm not.
Tell me what your background is.
I'm Navajo, so I'm Native American.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
And what do you like about Korean culture?
I love everything about Korean culture. I love the language, just the way that it's used to talk with people, and how inclusive just the whole culture is in like the food, the music, like everything. I just found it so interesting, and like I want to study culture anthropology in university, and like in Korea, and then who knows, minoring like Korean studies or whatever. But
You want to study in Korea?
yes,
Oh, wonderful.
that's the dream.
Here comes the food. That's what you're all waiting for, huh?
This is honestly my favorite part of my week.
저는 미자입니다.
아, 좋습니다. 반갑습니다. 한국 사람이에요? 네, 한국 사람이에요.
Yes, 한국 사람.
예.
Yes. 한국 입양인입니다.
한국 입양이에요. 그래도 한국 이름 쓰세요? 미자.
Yeah.
미국-
Yes, 미자.
미국-
Mija is my Korean name.
아하. 미국 이름 뭐요?
My American name? No, I go by Mija.
Do you?
Yeah,
Okay.
Mija, American and Korean name.
And why are you here?
As a Korean adoptee, I wanted to learn the Korean language, and as I go back to Korea, to be able to communicate a little better and just feel a little more connected to my Korean ancestry.
And this class helps?
It does, and the food.
And the food. What's tuition here?
한 달에 150불.
한 달에 150불. 근데 수업 끝나고 식사.
네, 점심도 제공해 줍니다.
People come for all kinds of reasons. Today there are 6 people here. You sometimes have 20.
Sometimes, yeah. We had, when we first started, we had almost 50 students. So we had 2 different classes. This was before COVID. So before you guys
Oh.
came, but yeah. We had,
COVID slowed everything down.
but it's still, it's fun. We love it.
여기 선생님으로 가르치는 거 즐겁습니까?
너무 재미있어요.
네.
너무 재미있고 학생들이 열심히 배우려고 하니까
배우려고.
예.
예.
그리고 노력을 많이 해요.
네.
노력을 많이 하고 그리고 로머나이제이션을 쓰지 않고 한글을 사용하기 때문에
네.
한글을 사용하기 때문에 빨리 늘어요.
네.
한국말이
네.
아무래도 그래서 좋은 것 같아요.
아, 좋은 일 하십니다. 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다.
학생들 지금 식사해요. 오늘 뭘 먹어요? 오늘 뭐예요? 볶음밥. 네, 그래요. Isn't that amazing? These students come to learn Korean and eat a little bit of Korean food every Saturday morning. And I found out just as I was leaving that they don't all live in the Provo-Orem area where I do. They come from 20 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour and a half away. The Navajo girl comes from an hour and a half away, hour and a half here, an hour and a half back. So I was really impressed with their dedication. I think it's just amazing, just a marvelous thing that, well, it's the BTS thing, it's the K-pop thing, the people wanting to learn about Korean. So I thought it was fascinating. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye.